Hey guys, what is up? It is No Help and welcome back to another video today. Today we're going to be talking about burnout and how you can avoid it and accomplish your goals in 2025. Now, I see a lot of people commenting that they want to get to the fun content, but it takes hundreds or sometimes even thousands of hours to get an account where you're ready to do so. And along the journey, a lot of players tend to burn out of the game because the grind is just too much. It takes too long. There's RNG involved. They want to do the fun things right now. So I'm going to explain to you some tips and tricks that I used to avoid burning out. Now, Runescape is one long and grindy game, and a lot of the time it does involve luck as well. Now, to avoid burning out, I would recommend you get really good at setting goals and actually following them. Now, I would say you want to set like different types of goals, like easier ones that maybe take like a month, and then really long-term ones obviously as well. And I would recommend writing them down on paper or even on your PC and making 1 to 5 different goals that you can work on at the same time. It's very important that you want to do all of these at the same time, because if you just do one thing or focus on one skill or one goal, that is a really good way to burn out. Now, setting goals is good because 1, it progresses your account, and 2, it always gives you something to do and kind of work on, right? And if you've got a bunch of them set up, you will never really run out of things to do, and you'll always be pushing your account farther and farther. Now, don't just set your goal to max, because that's like one thing that's like very unrealistic, or it's going to take you way too long anyways. Like, you want to set ones that you can easily accomplish in a week. You want to set ones that you can do in 2 weeks, maybe ones you could do in a month, and then you can also set long-term ones that will take you a while as well. But if you make your goals realistic, when you complete them, it will be a very nice feeling, and you can move on to the next one. And RuneScape's one of those games where once you do one thing, you have to do a bunch of other things too, and it's really good, especially if you play an Ironman. Now, playing an Ironman is actually a good way to avoid burning out. It kind of like almost refreshes RuneScape for you, especially if you've played a maxed main for a while. It can really almost just feel like a new game to you, a lot of new experiences, new way to play the game. Trying out a different game mode will really help you with this, and you can also still play your other account and on the side. And I honestly also find playing 2, even 3 accounts sometimes, it will also help you to avoid burnout, because you can kind of focus on one of them and then leave the other 2 on the side to gain slower AFK progress, and then you can just set more goals with multiple accounts. Now, I usually like to play 2, some people like 3, but I think any more than 3 is a little too much to kind of focus on. Now, you should definitely learn new things to avoid burnout. Way back in the day, I was pretty much a skiller that did a little bit of combat, right? It wasn't I wasn't the biggest fan of it back in the day, and yeah, if you kind of jump out of your comfort zone a little bit and do things like Slayer, maybe quests, clue scrolls, different types of content that you're not used to, it's really refreshing and makes it feel fun again. That's why I would highly recommend the Ironman game mode to people, because you kind of have to do everything, and it really makes you experience the full game. So things that you kind of don't really want to do or you wanted to avoid in the past, you can't as much on an Ironman, so it really opens up the game. Of course, you can still do any content that you want on any account, but I don't know, it just is something that almost forces you to do it as an Ironman, and it's fun, honestly, learning a bunch of things that I haven't done in the past, like mini games, clue scrolls. I was never a big fan of that in the past, and yeah, I'd say Slayer PVM is my favorite thing in the game now. I would highly recommend you learn as many bosses as you possibly can. Bosses are really fun to do, and they really make you better at the game, better at movement, better at gear switching, prayers. There's a lot of skill involved with bossing these days, and there's just so many bosses that are added to the game. And some are very easy to do and you can learn, make some money from, right? And others will take a very long time to get good at and master. But But what I always like to do is if there is a boss that I really like, I will just continue to kill it until I get the pet. And another way to avoid burning out and just killing the same monster over and over again is by doing the boss tasks with Slayer. So for example, when I get like a Cerberus task or a Hellhounds task when I am doing Slayer, I will go to the Cerberus boss and, you know, keep doing that until I get all of the drops, including the pet from Cerberus. So I'm slowly going for all of the pets. I also think Slayer is just such a good skill in general because it will have you doing pretty much a new thing every half an hour to an hour depending on how long your task takes. Obviously, bossing tasks will take a bit longer than that, but Slayer is a really fun skill that gets you switching it up all of the time to different gear, different loadouts, and yeah, you can make a bunch of money with Slayer as well. Now, not only should you be learning bosses, I think you should learn a raid, and honestly, all of the raids are really good. I would honestly recommend the Tombs of a Masket for learning. It's just a lot easier. You can scale it kind of down to how you want it, and it's set up in a way where it's almost, you get the same kind of pattern every single time, so it's a really good raid to learn first. Now, personally, I have spent the last year kind of learning and doing the Chambers of Xeric quite a bit, and yeah, raids are honestly extremely fun. They can be a grind because the drops take forever to get, but learning a raid will make you a lot better at the game with different puzzles, different bosses, and of course the final boss, and you can actually make a lot of money from raids. Now, of course, you can solo raids, but I would highly recommend you get involved with the community. You could join a Discord, you could join a clan, and raid with a bunch of people. This is a way a lot of my friends kind of got back into the game, you know, because raiding is quite different than just doing traditional Slayer or bossing. You kind of have to work as a team, or if you're soloing it, you need to be really good at the game. So it's one of those things where raiding can definitely help, and if you learn all three of them, you can make quite a bit of money in the future for your account. But I would honestly focus on one, maybe two of them until you get really good at them, and yeah, just push for the KC there as much as you possibly can. It's something always good to do in your downtime, right? If you know you want to hang out with friends, raiding is probably one of the best activities to do in the game. Now, another thing to not burn out of the game is by limiting yourself on kind of how much you do one activity, or even how much you kind of play the game. For example, like I said last year, I was really focused on learning and getting good at the Chambers of Xeric, and that's pretty much what I did the entire year. That's like the main focus anyways. And yeah, it was getting to the point where I was really starting to burn out because that's all I was doing for almost a year straight. So this year, what I want to do is sort of limit myself to a maximum of 2 raids a day. Not 5, not 6, not 7. Like it was getting kind of crazy, you know what I mean? So a maximum of 2 a day, so that it's still fun, and you know, eventually I will get the drops, but yeah, 2 a day so I don't burn myself out. This also leaves me a lot more time to do content that I really want to do, right? Like skilling and Slayer, and just building up my bank, right? And not feeling like it's just the exact same thing over and over again, right? It's been really refreshing to, you know, do things like farm runs again and Slayer tasks after doing a couple raids. Instead of just doing raids all day, every day, it also gives me more time to focus on my other account. You don't need to play this game every single day. Now, this is something that has happened to a lot of my friends. It's kind of an addictive game, right? So when you get back into it, especially if you've taken a break or you haven't played it in a long time and you're getting back into it, you feel like you just want to do everything at once, especially if you're playing an Ironman account for the first time, or it's just been a long time and you want to catch up, right? So this is what happens. A lot of people, especially my friends, will kind of come back to Runescape and they will play like 12 plus hours a day for like 2 months straight. and then they will just be so burnt out that they will never want to log in again. So you don't actually have to play this game every single day. And a lot of people ask me how often I play the game. Now, I used to play it every single day, but you know, life gets really busy, and usually I just play, I would say, 4 hours a day from Monday to Friday, and I don't even log in on the weekends. You know, I'm, spending time with girlfriend or family. So you need to kind of have a bit of a healthy relationship with the game. And yeah, especially it's happened to my friends multiple times where they will just be playing 12 plus hours a day, and then they'll burn out and not play again for like a year. Something else that I've been doing recently is always trying to do the new content that comes out in the game. Now, sometimes it's a little overwhelming because Jagex is just constantly pumping out great updates and a lot of content to do, and sometimes you really can't catch up on it all. But it's one of those things too where it gives me a break from the grind, especially things like the Chambers of Xeric. I was setting myself to do 2 a day, but I haven't done it in like 3 weeks now, just because I've been focused on the new content that has come out. We've got the Royal Titans, and yeah, I've just been having a lot of fun with that and grinding that out. But yeah, I've been trying to take part in a lot of the new updates, check them out, and see how good they are and how they will change the game. So it's something that I've avoided in the past. Whenever a new update or a new quest would come out, I would leave it, but I try and just do it right off the bat now. And yeah, it's extremely fun keeping up with the game. Well, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video today. Hopefully this will help you avoid burning out in 2025 and help you achieve all of the goals and everything that you want in the game. I will catch you guys in the next video. See ya later.